Oxford town, everybody's got their heads bowed down. Sun don't shine above the ground.
It's easy to forget that presidents are human. A president is called upon to be a perfect leader, but a president is a person. Presidents grew up in families, they planned campaigns, they served in the military, and they failed before gaining success. President Johnson served from November 1963 until January 1969. In 1965, he gave an inaugural that was idealistic and yet unattainable, especially with the background of the Vietnam War, conflict that the American people at best did not understand and at worst did not support. There's a set standard for inaugurals that authors such as Campbell and Jameson define. Unify your audience, highlight communal values, explain political ideology, and provide a roadmap for the administration's future. But there's so much more to inaugurals than that. Every president is unique. Every president has a different story and should not be limited to one static definition of what an inaugural is. My thinking is more in line with authors such as Lyndon, who argue that presidential rhetoric has changed over time. It's become increasingly more conversational, intimate, and anti-intellectual. I agree with Lim in that a president's success in an inaugural is based on whether he seems trustworthy and relatable, not whether he met the standard definition of what an inaugural should be.
This land is your land, and this land is my land.
Lyndon B. Johnson was a self-made man who was raised in poverty. He married a wealthy woman by the name of Claudia Taylor, known as Lady Bird, in 1934. By 1937, he was representing Texas as a Democrat in the House and remained in this position until 1949. LBJ also served as a lieutenant commander in the U.S. Navy, before working his way up to the Senate, where he served until 1961, when he became John F. Kennedy's vice president. This, of course, was after Johnson lost the Democratic presidential nomination in 1960 to Kennedy. The assassination of the very same young and handsome President Kennedy on November 22, 1963, rocked the nation and left Lyndon B. Johnson to step up as President of the United States. Throughout his presidency, Johnson paid tribute to Kennedy with his slogan, "Let us continue." He passed the Civil Rights Act in 1964 and the Voting Rights Act the following year. However, despite these accomplishments, the public was relatively unsupportive. Johnson had failed to live up to the claims he made in his inaugural address on January 20th, 1965.
Your lucky day, it's time to put your khaki trousers on. Though it may seem very clear we've got no jobs to give you here, so we are sending you to Vietnam. Lyndon Johnson told the nation, have no fear of escalation. I am trying everyone to please. Though it isn't really war, we're sending 50,000 more to help save Vietnam from Vietnamese.
In a land of great wealth, families must not live in hopeless poverty. In a land rich in harvest, children just must not go hungry. In a land of healing miracles, neighbors must not suffer and die untended.
The clear problem with Johnson's inaugural, as seen by this clip, is that his goals were unrealistic. It's not that they were unauthentic. Johnson grew up poor, but he lost touch with his public and prompted protesters to declare, "We won't fight another rich man's war." I truly believe that Johnson advocated for a great society because he cared about the well-being of the poor. But it's only logical that he couldn't personally combat the massive and structural catastrophe that was and continues to be poverty. He especially couldn't do it during the Vietnam War. It's not a surprise that LBJ's approval ratings dramatically declined by the end of his presidency. Presidents are expected to be more than human. Johnson tried to live up to this standard. He tried to fight poverty, while ignoring the Vietnam War. But in the end, LBJ failed. President Johnson massively escalated the war and didn't run for a second term. He set unrealistic expectations for his presidency through an idealistic inaugural that was not clear or honest to the public about the dangers of the war. And as a result, the people got loud. They made music. They protested. When the right to be human is taken away from a president, the honesty of his speeches and the trust of the public suffer.
I know that Lyndon loves me so. Yet how sadly I remember way back yonder in November when he said I'd never have to go. But Lyndon Johnson told the nation, have no fear of escalation. I am trying everyone to please. Though it isn't really war, we're sending 50,000 more to help save Vietnam from Vietnamese.